What is going on, guys? I have 5 stocks I am looking at going into next week that are ready for a breakout. Let's dig in. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and start off. As you guys know, we have our indicator to know when we are in our buy zones, when we are in our add zones, when we're entering into sell zones. We got a little bit of trimming happening. We got a little bit of a sell alert. Keep an eye. Again, we're hitting these labels knowing that we need to be paying attention, okay? So we had an uptrend, right? And we got a little bit extended from that uptrend, right? You could go ahead and take a little bit of a sell, or you can continue going until eventually, again, everyone's got different strategies, but you can go ahead and hit this sell alert too. Are you guys getting a little more extended, right? This trend line wasn't there yet. Here's a green. This is our positive trend line that we're following. You could get out at the break, okay? If you see us breaking through here, you can get out. But again, if you wait for that trend break, that's going to be at 34. This one was at 32, right? Somewhere in there. So it looks like you're going to get there without timing the top or looking at any other indicators to tell you that this was the appropriate exit point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to dive into top 6. I think I have 5 and one bonus one with 2 that I have that I believe are going to be an opportunity heading into next week, or at the end of next week we would be looking into that following weekend. So you want to make sure they're on your watch list. All right, so first one we're going to get into is the PGY. And if you don't know what this company is all about, I'm sure most of you in the investing community have heard of SoFi. Okay, that is the main one that they are partnered with, and basically it is their financial tech platform. Okay, they have tons of names. Go ahead and do your research. Okay, again, all of this is what I'm looking at. This is all for educational purposes, so you can understand what I'm thinking and how I am going about looking at charts. Okay, so we had this uptrend. Obviously, we had sell alerts along the way and trim alerts. We broke. Okay, and we found support. Sure enough, you take the bottom right here where the support was when we broke out of this downtrend, grab that support where we took off from, go ahead and draw that line. Now we have a new trend line, okay? Then you have your downtrend line here, which is going to be the top, and where it popped up and then rejected. So now we have a downtrend line, okay? And we just bounced off of this support, broke through, and now we are sitting right here. Could we continuously go down to right here, back down to 21? Yes, we could go back down, test that support. So this is the one I am keeping an eye on. Now we can see that the breakout here has already happened on our momentum. MACD flip green. So our true buy alert was 2260. I was waiting to confirm that we weren't going to reject this as we got tighter and breaked out to the downside. So now we are going to look into Monday taking our position. Okay. Upside, as you can see, is pretty substantial. We're going to go ahead, if we can get in Monday around the same price, right? We can go anywhere to 98%, 130%, somewhere in there. If we just get back to all-time highs, 80%. Okay, and we bounce here, bounce, bounce. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. So PGY is going to be the first one. All right, we're going to go into number 2. Sound. I'm sure some of you guys have been in SoundHound. We have been playing this one for a while now. It has done very well. Buy, trim, sells, some ads, trim, sell, sell, sell. Purple, sell it all. Don't even second guess yourself. Purple is the top. Okay. Company just got way too overvalued. And then we get some ads, and sure enough, another trim. Okay. And we broke down. So we have 2 trend lines here. We have a very long trend line here, which has been holding very strong for a while now. Let's see, not that one. So, okay. So yeah, it is going to be this bottom green trend line. Now, I know there's a couple lines and it might get a little confusing, but I'm going to do the best I can for you guys. So the bottom green trend line is the one that dates furthest back, okay? That's followed the general trend line. The new upper green trend line is this most recent bottom where we found support, and this day of, like, I think on all charts it's pretty much the low point, the most recent low point. Yeah, November 21st. Yep. November 21st. Found its low point, found its new support. So this is kind of our shorter term trend line that we're looking to hold. Okay. If you guys don't know what the Fibonacci's are, we have Fibonacci retracements, which is like a psychological um, finding of where price will find support and resistance. So sure enough, we've broke through. We did have a different trend line here. Our support was really about 990, which would have been $10, as that lines up perfectly where we found kind of support last time on this dip here. So what do I see for downside? I see downside from right here on sound. Downside, I see right we're here. We can't hold this support, so can't hold the 13 or 12% down. Downside 20%, and then we find 22% at our next longer trend line. Okay, but as of right now, what do I see? I see again momentum breaking out, and our MACD had flipped green. Okay, so I see a lot of things telling us we are going to go higher. We should break through here, and we are going to go ahead. We broke through the downtrend. So higher high, this is the one I'm watching as well. We still have to get back up here to 25. That's looking like a nice double up from where we are today. Okay. Neon green, we have entered that buy zone the same way we entered a buy zone down here. Okay, the valuation is telling us we have now entered a buy zone. Okay, not just an add zone, we're now in the buy zone. All right, next one. ZVRA Therapeutics. Okay, this one I'm pretty excited about. Maybe the most excited out of all of them. We're gonna see. All right, so we got a very long positive trend line here. Okay, here, here. We broke through tiny bit September, but it held. As you can see, like we held. Still, there's a candle wick right on there. So it got pretty close, and then sure enough, we bounced. And now if we zoom in again, I'll zoom in closer, bounce and a bounce on the trend lines. Okay, so that support has been holding. Now we're really close to the support, so now I'm going to kind of play it back for you. Okay, so we found where our resistance is. Okay, came down, retested that resistance line, and then we found this new trend line kind of following down, 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 hit our support, break through this downtrend. Okay, broke through this downtrend, which usually on a breakthrough you do a retest. So now we went back, we retested, hit resistance, retested, landed on our support, and now we have momentum breaking out. We have the downtrend. If momentum's breaking out, that means we're going up. We're looking to break out of this downtrend. The long bullish trend line, what you got, we're here at 871, and you could go down to low eights. Right? Well, what's our breakout looking like, right? We got a lot of room to the upside, at least back to 13 if we get back to all-time highs. Momentum looks good. Same thing, if you take a look, here's the previous breakout. Downtrend on the momentum, downtrend on the momentum. We broke out of the downtrend, crossed over, went bullish. Same thing right here, right? We're in the buy zone, crossed the breakout, and we went up. We're in the same phase now. We're in the downtrend. We're about to break out of it. We're going to go up. Okay. This is what I'm seeing. I like this setup right here. I'm liking this setup. All right. All right. Next one. Neo. I know a lot of you like to trade this one. We have entered an ad, and now we have a neon green zone here. Okay. So we have a good support as long as 2 days ago that was our bottom, right? We have that trend line. I wouldn't say it's the strongest trend line, but it is a trend line. I typically like 3 points, 3 different touches on the line for it to be a trend line. But we have a downtrend line. So we have also momentum looking to break out. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think that this is going to break out. It is going to come here, hit this trend line. It is going to reject, retest the breakout. Okay, retest the breakout that it just had. Boom, boom, and then we break out. So could you take a stab at some here? Absolutely, because this is probably going to do this. Boom, come down here, boom, and then we go higher into the beginning of next year. Okay, so Neo, I do like. Looks like the setup is there for it. All right, we got breakouts of momentum. We are at a trend line support here. We've started entering a buy zone. So keep an eye on Neo. All right, try to make that one easy charting. We got the MACD that is about to flip green. It looks like all the momentum is about to cross over, so keep your eyes peeled. All right, and next one, ABCL. Okay, so we have a bear case where it could go, and this is based on Fibonacci supports, based on the most recent move of impulse from here all the way to the top. If you take a look here, this would be the 78% and 88 percent pullback. So this would be bear case if we can't hold this support. Okay, but again, we do have. Let's take a look here. We do have our momentum looking to do the same thing, kind of like the other therapeutics company, um, looking to break out of this downtrend. We got momentum already shifted up. We got the MACD already flipped green. We are in a buy zone. We are on a good support. And if we zoom in just so you guys can see it a little bit better, we have touched it and it has come down 3 days, pretty much trying to see if it's going to give. It's not giving at all. This one could be primed. I don't know if it's going to go ahead and go up to then retest and then break out. But I do think here's a bottom, and keep an eye as you approach this downtrend angle. Okay, but it looks like we have a good week ahead of us. All right. One more. Fubo. Yep, Fubo is the last one out of the setups that are kind of primed going into the week. All right, so same thing. We have our support. It looks like, and it has been holding this 285 zone for the past couple days. I've been watching it. We took our wins up here, and now we've been waiting to get back in. Sure enough, the Fibonacci again from the from the low to the high retracement levels we have right here is 280 to 225, which we have the support right here. Obviously, it came almost touched that. I think that's 255, 256. Came down 250. This is April, May tariff news. So it did break it just slightly, but recovered it the following day. So I'd say 250 is to your downside bear case here if it can't hold this trend line. Now, this trend line has this resistance here. So what do we have? We have momentum shifting on all ends. We have this about to go green. This has a little bit more space to go. So could we see a little rejection? Boom, boom. Yes, we could. But I think that this trend line, we're near the bottom, is what I see. Momentum shifts, we can sure enough go here, like I said, fall back to here, and then pop through. The main resistance that we're having trouble with is going to be this pretty much what seems to be a $5, but we have like a 450, 460 range resistance. I think long term this is a great play, but if you're just doing for the trade here, we have a little resistance, so just keep eyes as momentum, but looks like it would be a good time to buy. All right, so that's what I am looking at. Now we're going to go into, let's take a look here. What do we got? All right, we got SoFi and Iran. Okay, those are the two that I am keeping a close eye on to jump into, but they're not. I don't think they're ready yet. Okay, and the reason and I'll break it down for you. As you guys know, SoFi, and these are more Fibonacci's. Okay, SoFi has had a tremendous run since April. Okay, and I've had SoFi, I've held SoFi. I've trimmed along the way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I still need to take some wins here and there, but I still have a good chunk of SoFi. I think it's top 3 position in our portfolio, and we have found support. So you can see where we got the top here. Okay, boom. Fibonacci says this is one support, which sure enough, it came here, bounced off. Okay, this is number 2 support right here. Boom. And then sure enough, Friday, when they announced, or Thursday night, when they announced that they had the offering, common stock offering, red news, obviously. And then S&P 500 inclusion wasn't a huge hit to it. It might happen maybe more on Monday, but it wasn't after hours. But it landed right on that Fibonacci. So bear case, if we can't hold the 2350 25 zone, it's kind of a zone. I play more zones. I don't think I'm going to time the bottom every time I play in zones. But that 2350 to 25 zone is an important area to hold. And you can see here, if we drew this line straight out, we bounced off of this too. From this little trim point, we bounced off that 2350 and then we went higher. So I think that 2350 is playing a pretty big support. Obviously 25 is a mental support line for investors, right? Everyone says, I want to sell it for 25 or I want to buy it for 25. Nobody says I want to sell it for 24.99, right? These whole numbers get people, everyone's just got orders in at these whole numbers because they just feel better about it. Okay. But if we can't hold, I do believe bear case here is we got to go down and revisit this 20 where all this consolidation took place right here. I do see that 20, 21 range happening. Can't hold that, then I do see this 17, 18 coming into play, right where this trim happened and we had a little bit of resistance. So there's a little bit holding there. There's obviously some trimming holding. So this is the next support line. And you can see that these lines, if you learn the Fibonacci's, really give you a good idea of where support and resistance are going to come into play. And then ultimate bear case, and I just don't see it happening here, is going to be here and here. I don't see this happening, but it's not impossible, right? We had this huge run. You wouldn't think that some stocks have dropped 40, 50% from their highs the past week. SoFi has, or past 2 weeks, SoFi has held very strong. So I don't see that happening. I really don't want it to happen, but I will take advantage of the situation. But this is why I'm saying you need to make sure it is on your watch list, ready to take advantage. Okay. We have momentum going down. This momentum is starting to flatten out. We have the MACD curling. Momentum is shifting. If you zoom in here, you can see, right, this is trending up, 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 up. And now we have shifting of the downward side to the downward side. So I would keep a close eye on SoFi. It needs to be on your watch list, okay? Because it's on mine and this is educational purposes, not financial advice. All right. Next one, IREN. I know this is a big one for a lot of people, and everyone wants to chase it. And I've had many people reach out saying, do I think it's going to go back up? And I bought it up here. And long-term investing, yeah, I do think it'll go up higher than where it currently is and where it's currently been. But when I'm looking at this chart, I see this support zone, and I've been told there's no such thing as a support zone. I would disagree. Here's the wick down, yet we keep popping up back to 42.50, but we keep having the wick down to 40. Okay, that is a zone. To me, that is a zone. Okay, so we are getting some support in this zone here. You can keep seeing the wicks touch it, come down into it, but the base of the candles stay right here at this 42.50 range. 42.50. Okay. Bear case, if we can't hold this, 31 comes into play. $20 comes into play. Okay. So now is the risk reward there for me? Not exactly. Okay. We're not in the no-brainer add buy zone like this. This is a no-brainer neon green when we are in an uptrend. Obviously, you need to follow the trend. I don't recommend trading against the trend. But you need to wait for these moments, these add buys, okay? Now, if we take a look at momentum, yeah, momentum is sure enough coming up. It didn't hit it, but it nearly rejected it, okay? And now we're here. Could we see a little rejection again? Yeah, we could see a little consolidation of momentum here. So this is what I'm watching for, okay? I'm watching for any key things that are telling me this is the support. We are here. We are going for, and we're going to shift to the upside. That's what I'm looking for. Also, I'm looking for if we shift to the downside, because I will be looking at 31 and I'll be looking at 20, and anywhere in that zone, I would be happy owning IREN. Here is where it's a personal opinion. Whether or not you want to take that additional risk And I'll pull up an example that has paid off so far. It would be Cypher, a competitor to Iren, basically. And if we pull that one up, I'll show you the same thing. Here's the Fibonacci's, okay, which all I did was Fibonacci retracement. I grabbed the bottom, which if you take that crosshair all the way, you can see where the bottom is before the run started, right? So if you take that point and then you draw the next point to the very top of this, the Fibonacci's will give you support zones. And sure enough, when it fell from the top, we bounced here. We came up here, we found resistance, okay? And what's probably going to happen? What I see happening is we're going to go down to here, back to this 11 support right here. You see it? This came down, it found support and went higher. I think it's going to come back here, okay? Cypher could be on your watch list. I see a little bit of momentum happening, but I do see a little curling happening here. I see a little plateauing here. I don't see it just kind of going straight up. I see a little bit of a downtrend on the histogram. I think that it's kind of losing a little steam, and we could be seeing the next pull down, and that is where I'm going to be taking advantage of Cypher. Obviously, it can go here, and then I want to wait to see where the momentum has changed. But if we have this downtrend happening, okay, all I do is grab that point and grab that point. Do you see how this came and touched and it couldn't break it so far? This is the downtrend, okay? So now I'm going to wait till it gets here, and I'm going to wait for this downtrend to break with the momentum on my side when this breakout happens, okay? I want the momentum at the bottom, okay? If you go back to all the charts we looked at here, that I said I recommend, take a look here, right? These are at the bottom. This is just now breaking out of it, but here, ABCL. It's at the bottom. It's below this green line, the white line, and the purple line, below the green line, and the purple is about to break out. Okay, that is what I'm looking for. So on Cypher, I'm not looking for to get into when the purple crosses here. I'm not looking for that. I want the purple and the white to reset below this green line before I go ahead and jump into it. Once I see that, where is it? Where's my where's one that has done it? We can just go to Rocket Labs, I think was a good example this week. Yeah. Take a look. White line reset under the green. Sure enough, it crossed to the upside, right? This white line and the purple are below this green. We got to cross to the upside. We have the MACD flip green, okay? So any point you could have got in, I believe we got in at 42. And sure enough, by next 2 days later, we're at 49. That's what I'm looking for, okay? Corrections typically happen in an ABC formation, okay? For example, if this is the top, okay, boom, this is the top. A, B, C. Okay. Now, if we draw a Fibonacci, like I'm telling you guys, here's a Fibonacci retracement tool, and grab the bottom, just wherever, because the crosshairs, I can see where the bottom is, right? And I go to the top. Boom. Where did this land? Right there on the 37.48. Now, nothing told us at this point, besides this ad label popping up, that this is the bottom, though, right? We have the MACD kind of curling, but not much on that day. It's still kind of downtrending. We have momentum down. You can see it went up, but it went down that day. And then this was kind of at the bottom. Okay, so nothing told us yet to do it until we waited a little bit longer and got confirmation with the MACD turning green, momentum, and momentum. Okay, 3 different indicators that tell me that momentum is going forward. And sure enough, we got 42 to 49. That's what I'm looking for. That is A, B, C correction down to support. As you can see, this hit this support, bounced, came down, boom, bounce. Okay. I can do it. Cypher, for example, the reason why I say it's still going to go down is that pullback. Okay, this is 1. Okay, this is the top. This is an A. This is a B, and now we're going to go down to C, and we're going to go ahead and take this. Bear case, I don't see this happening. A 6 and a 4. I have a hard time believing that happens. I probably would take a loan out on my home. I don't know. I would find a way to be buying it if that's the case, but I honestly believe that we're going to be right here at this 11 where the support hangs. All right. Those are my plays. There's even an extra one because I got carried away. This indicator with your buy area, trim areas, sell areas, covered calls, with your legend and everything is available. It's in the description. Helps me not chase because how many times, let's go to here, I'm going to go on a little detour, one more sec. Path. Okay. Here's an example. Okay. We started entering this buy zone. Do you see this momentum? White line touched the green, purple crossed over, purple crossing over. We have a green on the MACD on this day. This day right here at 1343. This, as you can see, we entered a buy zone. So yeah, you could have bought right here, seeing that everything else momentum-wise has reset and is ready to go higher. That is when you get in. What day do you think everyone asked me if they could get in and should buy it now? These days. Okay. So sure enough, no, I'm not getting in. What does this mean? We are entering a selling zone. I am not looking to buy in a selling zone. Okay. I'm looking to buy in a buy zone, an add zone, entered a sell zone. So here's a day where it went from 12 and went all the way up to 15. Sure enough, if you bought, you would have been like, oh my God, we're crashing the next 2 days. And then you went back up. And then we finally got a trim and we entered back into a buy zone. Okay. So no, I'm not. This indicator helps with your just knowing where you are and is it worth it? Is it the right time to get in? All the people that didn't have it during this IRN rally that now have it, what said, wow, I would not have bought IRN on this way up as we were just in a sell zone the whole time. Now I should be looking to get in as we're looking to find support and we are now entering back into a buying zone. Okay. So this doesn't only help you make money, it also stops you from losing money as far as chasing a stock that isn't meant to be chased at the moment. Okay. I'm sure there's plenty of them that I could go through that have that example. I'm sure. I mean, just ASTS. Okay. You should be adding here in this zone. And then when it's 60, yeah, sure. Could you have bought at 60 and still done more? Yes. Okay. But the risk wasn't there. Like the risk reward, right? You're already from where we were looking to add and buy, right? You're up 50%. I'm not looking to chase something 50% and then hope that you time it and then lose it all. Now you can get back in at the same price or lower to where your sell zone even started. Now we're back in it. Okay. This is why the zones are so important and it stops you from even losing money and chasing something that doesn't need to be chased. Doesn't mean you won't be able to buy it later. They all come back. I mean, Hims is a perfect example. I'm going to end this video after Hims, I promise. Here's an example. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We have add, a little trim. We hit a little bit of an add zone or buy zone. And then we hit this. How many people wanted to buy Hims on this rally? It's going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Sure enough, if you just waited another 30 days, instead of buying it at 60, buying it at 40, buying it even at 37, you could have bought it down here at 24. Okay. Do not go chasing. Okay. Same thing here. You could have bought it here at 27. Well, now I want to buy 40, 50s. No, just kidding. It's a sell zone. You don't want to buy it, right? Sure enough, we drop right back down to 43 where you could have bought it, but now you realized, there's room. Sure enough, we get another 63. People wanted to buy it again. Not the time. We're in a sell zone. Now we can look at 43. We run back up to 62. This is a neutral zone. We're in the neutral zone. Sure enough, though, if you just held off, I'm fine not owning 43, but again, now you're looking to buy more because we're actually in a buy zone. All right. That is how it works. It stops you from making the bad decision and helps you make also the good decisions both ways. That's the fun of it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned. Indicator, everything, all the information you need, how to get this going or any help, it's in the description. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.